Hello, my name is Yulia and I'm Key Account Manager at Akurateco. Welcome to the third short demo devoted to provide you with some insights about payment orchestration platforms and how it can boost your business. If you will have questions after my demo, please write it in the chat and I will answer it after the speech. So, in the previous series, we discussed how to organize all your payment methods using orchestrating technology and save your time and human power with it. You can link your payments from multiple sources and link it to desirable banks. Also, we reviewed how your daily life becomes easier with the routing rules, how it can improve your approval rate up to 30% and decrease a transaction cost by routing transactions with the specific parameters such as brand, currency, amount, beans, to the MIDs where it's mostly like to be approved. Moreover, you can route by whitelisted cards and make pre-routing for checkout connectors. And today it's time for a new series. It's time to discover our customer routing module deeper and also learn how to prevent transactions declines and improve conversion rate with cascading and smart declines management. Let's talk about the orchestrating magic. I will share my screen now. So, I will start with the decline management. Using this functionality, you can translate the decline codes or messages from the bank to your merchants or customers. In our system, uh, you can create a declined reason group, which will consist of all declines that should be translated to a particular merchant and then assigning it to merchant. So for example, in the groups, I will skip the part where I'm creating it because it's usually in our system, just press plus and give it a name. I have a few groups. Under it, I have different translations and I can route like assign it to my merchant. Let's assign it to our test merchant and then I will show you how to use it on examples. So this is my test merchant. I'm going to edit it and add from the list of available my demo merchant declines and submit. Okay, let's go back to the module. The first section, as you see, it's unknowns. This section is used for those declines that were not translated in the next section in translations. By clicking on this button, you can jump directly to the next section and translate your decline, whatever you need and how you would like to have it. So let's jump just manually to our translations. Here in the system, as usually in our simple and user-friendly system, you need to press on plus to create something. Here we see some parameters that should be chosen. First of all, it's type. There are three types that you can cascade: processed, anti-fraud, and HTTP. Processing means that it's declined from the bank and some settings should be done on their side. Technically, your transaction worked in the correct way, but maybe some declines happened on the connector side. It may be do not honor, it might be like exceeding of some bank limits from their side, from their rules. So whatever that is declined directly by the bank, it's processing decline. Anti-fraud decline related to anti-fraud rules that you set in the system for the merchant mid or mapping. These rules will be discussed on one of the next open demos, so do not miss it. But once it's declined according to this inside anti-fraud rules in our system, it will have type anti-fraud. Also HTTP. related to the connection with the bank or acquirer. So basically, it's some network glitches, internet connections, server to server problems. So also in this case, we need to check like the bank side. Then we need to specify some connector. Let me specify some. And then very important part, category. Category, there are hard and soft. Soft and hard. Hard decline means that there is no option to complete payment on another acquirer as well. So no way to complete it. For example, such declines as restricted card, insufficient funds, fraud, stolen card, etc. Then we need to assign some group because group is assigned mapped to the merchant. So in our case, we choose our demo merchant declines. Then we set status, and here in these two fields, we actually do the magic. So we need to specify some whatever you have declined from the connector, but important that you need to specify it exactly as it's received from the connector. For example, sufficient fund. So this is one pattern. If you, for example, add some digits here, it's another pattern. So you need to specify exactly as it's written in the bank. In this case, system do not have like doubts about this pattern and will use it. Then we need to choose with what we would like to replace it. Let's use something, no funds, please use another card, just like this. Then we recheck our information and submit. So now you see that our decline is processing, it's assigned to decline group, it's for this connector, it's active, and such message will be replaced with this message. I suggest to make some test transactions so you will see how it looks in reality, how it works. Let's go to our test merchant. Here it is. I will recheck to make sure that we assigned decline group. Yeah, it is here. And then we just, as you remember, can generate payment URL directly from the system. Let's call it translate 123, just some test random. So amount, I will choose euro, and description product. Also, I need my success URL and name. Copy it and paste here. So I will choose some random names just to show it because it's simulator, so it will not be checked by the bank and I can do whatever I would like to do. Yeah, let's take a card. Here, our card. And it should be February 26th. And name, John Doe. So, okay, we have it here. Let's pay. Now here, I will choose insufficient fund, so it must be translated to our reason. Deliberately, I make it declined. As you see, No funds, please use another card. So exactly as we translated for the user. As well, we can see it in the transactions, so we can see the original decline reason and how we translated it. So here, the last transaction is my one. And here you see the decline reason is insufficient fund, but it was translated to no funds, please use another card as I specified. Isn't it a magic? I suppose that yes. Okay, let's go back to our decline reason management and proceed with it. Categories used to categorize decline pattern without translation. So what means if you choose such reason pattern, you just categorize it with hard and do not specify any translation for it. In this case, the system might suggest you some default translation. There are 3 in the system, like processing decline and some other. Okay, let's move forward. And the next important thing, that category is the first marker that is used to cascade transactions. Cascading means distributing declined transactions between multiple channels. So you make additional attempts to process a payment if your initial attempt was unsuccessful. Enabled, the cascading option allows the payment that cannot be processed properly by a provider to be rerouted to an alternative provider with no change of the payment method. So simple. If a transaction is marked as soft, it will be cascaded to another MID. As we see here, for example, and hard declines, actually it's useless to cascade since we will not get success at any rate. As you remember, hard declines such as restricted card, stolen card, expired card, etc. Soft declines, means soft decline transactions on non-3DS MIDs will be cascaded behind the things, frictionless for customers, so your customer will not even notice it. For transactions that require 3DS code, a customer will need to insert 3DS again. I suggest to have a look at this magic as well on the examples. I have already categorized some declines for my demo merchant declines. As you remember, we already assigned it to my test merchant, and now we need to enable cascading rule. As I promised, we will need to look into custom routing module deeper. Let's find my test merchant. Here it is. As you see from the previous time, who attended our meeting on the previous time, there are some routing rules. Routing rules are working because it's enabled for all declines, not only for soft. And also there is only one MID in the rules. Let's change it to cascading. For cascading, as you remember, one important and mandatory mark is soft declines. So we decide to use this cascading rule only for soft declines. Then we have the same brand, the same currency, and we can add the next attempt MID or the next attempt acquirer. It depending on our initial rule. Here I will add second attempt MID, just to be clear on the transactions, so we will not mix it up. Again, let's recheck, enabled, soft, all the settings, and submit. So here you see that right now I'm combining 2 different tools, routing and cascading, because according to the routing rule, Visa in USD will be routed to this MID, test NY. But If it's a soft decline, yes, it will be cascaded to the second attempt NY. Let's do it. Again, we go here. You remember we need to choose USD for our rules. I will change cascade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we will be able to identify this transaction in the list. Everything the rest in the same, and we generate. Copy, come here. Thanks to our system and browsing tools, you're able to choose from the list of the previously chosen. So your clients, for example, if they're doing some recurrent payments or some payments that are repeating for some time, will be able to choose their previously chosen information. I suppose that's really useful as well. Okay, let's take a card. Sorry, my mouse. And complete it with information. And John, our dear John, let's move the simulator on. Right now, we're on the ACS emulator, so it means that it's emulating of 3DS. Let's try to make deliberately failed transaction, so it must be cascaded to our MID. We submit. As you see, it's 3DS process, and once again, we received the second 3DS emulator. As you remember, I told you that non-3DS transaction will be processed on the multiple MIDs frictionless for the customer, so without any notification, just behind the scenes. But in case of 3DS, you will have to insert another 3DS code received from your issuing bank. In this case, for example, I choose successful authentication. Submit. Our transaction is processing. With emulators, it's always a bit longer than in real time, in real transaction. And as you see, we're on my success domain. It means that it was successful transaction. As you remember, our Visa USD transaction must be firstly on this MID, then on the second attempt MID. Let's check it. Transactions. And here we go. The first 10 USD Visa card, test merchant, our cascade order ID, as you see the same, is made on the test USD Visa according to the rule. As we deliberately made a failed transaction, declined transaction, and then we were redirected to 3DS once again, inserted 3DS correctly on the second attempt MID for according to our rules, and then we submitted it as successful. That's how it works. Our smart system with a simple interface, user-friendly, allows you to make everything with only mouse. You just choose what you need to do. Isn't it a magic as well? I suppose that yes, because behind the scenes there are a lot of work and a lot of system complicated structures and everything. But just for you as a user of the platform, simple application, something like this. Based on our experience, cascading and decline using management can improve your conversion rate and significantly improve a customer experience as well. Also, it's really make your life easier because you don't need to do it all on your side. But by the way, our system can cascade even between 3ds versions. So it's also some benefit that allows you to improve your ratio. Mm, for today, about cascading and decline result management, that's all. Let's check if we have some some questions here. Okay, as I see, there are no questions. So thank you for your time, for your participating in this demo, I suppose, and I hope that it was fruitful and informative, and that you will not forget to register to the next one. Thank you all, and see you on the next demo.